Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. Today we are going to present our group assignment for Fundamental of Management, which is about Classical Management Theory. We are from AFT 1023 or L1.
And hi everyone. I would like to introduce my group members. First, my name is Nuruddin binti Abdullah. Second is Wan Nurul Alia binti Wan Muhammad Iskandar Zulkarnain. Third is Siti Norsyazana binti Azizan. Fourth is Nurul Ijazati Huda binti Azizan. And the last one is Nurul Nabiha binti Alias.
And School of Thought. Drucker 1963 described management as the product of effectiveness and efficiency, where doing things properly is considered efficiency and doing the right things is considered effectiveness. Third, from Robin and Coulter, 2012. Central themes of Drucker definition is knowledge work, Tigright, 2014. Fayol, on the another hand, character risk management is forecasting and planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating, and controlling. Cited from Asad and Gulshan, 2011. Different scholars have classified management theories in different ways. For example, Kohn, 1988, divide them into 6 groups. 1. Process Management School. 2. Empirical School. 3. Human Behavior School. 4. Social System School. 5. Decision Story School. And 6. Mathematical School. On the other hand, divided it into 3 categories. First, Classical Management Theory. Second, New Classical Management Theory. And third, Modern Management Theory. The research follows Reader's 2017. Third, I used 3 main grouping to explore and analyze the various hypotheses within each other school of thinking. Classical Management Theory. Theories of classical management attempt to link this function to increase an organization efficiency and production. The most significant contributed to classical management thinking, particularly Frederick Taylor, Henry Fayol, and Max Weber, may have shorted their concept in various language and use various nomenclature, but they all contribute to the development of classical management thought. Taylor's scientific management theory, Fayol's theory management, and Weber's bureaucracy theory all aim at their core to improve efficiency in order to maximize scientific management theory. Traditional management theory is another name for classical theory. The first is the scientific management view, where Frederick W. Taylor is renowned as the father of scientific management for advocating one optimal method to do things or scientific management. Taylorism, Guman and Aswathafa, 2010. Time and motion was a scientific task analysis that looked at the physical movement and requirement to completing the activity, Kurana, 2009. Money was viewed as the most important source of motivation for employees under scientific management, Kurana, 2009. According to Furham, 2009, money is an effective, powerful, and simple motivator, but it is not always motivator for everyone, because at times it has power to demotivate. Furthermore, Kazabench and Hunt, 2010, suggest that the majority of successful entrepreneurs think that the most important motive is to build something lasting rather than to make a lot of money. Frank and William published Applied Motion Study at the same era, which focused on reducing the number of motion in a task in order to promote productivity and worker satisfaction, Caramerla, 2018. Meanwhile, Henry Eldon created a Gantt chart to track productivity and efficiency, as well as the task and bonus-based system, Sheldrake, 2003. Gantt chart also provide a graphical daily balance to ensure that efficiency was maintained on a regular basis, Sheldrake, 2003. Furthermore, instead of relying on one-based way, there are various ways to begin a task because every situation is different, and even two people might do the same job differently. Sridhar, 2017.
The next of classical management theory is bureaucracy management theory. This theory introduced by Max Weber. Max Weber is known as the father of modern sociology. He used the term bureaucracy to characterize an organizational structure that he thought was superior to others. Max Weber defines the fundamental features of bureaucracy as follows. First, a well-defined hierarchy with a clear chain of command, with the top post holders having the authority and power to control the lower post holders. Second, specialization of abilities and division of labor, in which each employee has the authority and necessary knowledge to complete a certain task. Third, to manage and govern all decision, activities, and situations in writing, precise and thorough rules and regulation. Fourth, employee-managers relationships that are impersonal with explicit personal responsibilities and right statements. And the last one, all selection requirements and promotion decisions shall be made on the basis of technical competence. Max Weber argued that an organization could only have three kinds of power. The first one is traditional. That means workers consider servants in traditional leadership are reliant on the leader lord working as their servants and mindlessly following the established norms and regulation. The second one is charismatic. Charismatic means workers are highly inspired to achieve their best on the tasks allocated to them under charismatic authority due to the remarkable personality of the supervisors. And the third one is legal rational. In legal rational power, either the legal regulation or the naturally applicable laws must be followed by the workers. Max Weber theory put a greater emphasis on efficiency. In comparison to some of today's leaders, Max Weber was a complete anomaly. His managerial approach was centered on workplace discipline and power separation. If Max Weber were still alive today, he would criticize many leaders and managers for being open to new ideas from subordinates and agreeing to flexible work arrangements that go against the bureaucratic system. He was more concerned with speed, precision, by knowledge, unity, personal expense reduction, and total employee subordination. Furthermore, administrative management theory is one of the classical management theory. Henri Fayol, a French manufacturer, was one of the most significant management philosophers that developing the administrative management theory. Fayol's theory arose from the necessity to develop standards for managing complex organizations such as factories. Fayol was a pioneer in identifying the talents and ideas that underpin effective management. According to Cole 2004, Fayol believed that sound management falls into certain patterns which once identified can be analyzed, so he focused on management of business operation, which he felt had been the most neglected. Fayol developed 14 principles of management that can be applied in all types, functions, levels, and size of organization. The principles are order, discipline, work division, stability of tenure, equity, esprit de corps, unity of direction, scala chain, initiative, centralization, unity of command, authority and accountability, subordination of individual interest to the common good, and the last one is remuneration of personnel. Fayol firmly believed that management functions and principles have universal application. He felt that those who acquire a general knowledge of management functions and principles can manage all types of organizations. He argued that anyone interested in managing an enterprise could learn this principle and apply successfully in order to become a manager. However, certain qualities of head and heart are needed, like physical health, mental vigor, and character.
So, in this slide, I will talk about the contribution of bureaucracy. So, the first contribution in bureaucracy is specialization. Specialization means each team member is given a specific task and is capable of delivering higher results over time. Next is structure. Structure is identify the role and responsibility as well as reporting relationship inside a common hierarchy, create a form structure. Structure aid member is understanding their jurisdictional boundary and allowing them to operate without conflict. Third is rationality. An organization rationality is enhanced by bureaucracy. Decisions are made based on objective and widely agreed open standard. Fourth is predictability. Bureaucracy provides predictability and stability to an organization by its rule, regulation, training, specialization, structure, and other factors. And the fifth is democracy. Decisions are made in bureaucratic organization based on accepted criterion. Organizational consistency is achieved by rule and regulation. Prioritized activities are carried out according to a timetable. Last but not least, people are chosen on the basis of their ability. Patronage, favoritism, and other artificial criteria are not taken into account. A large degree of democracy is realized because every citizen had the opportunity to train, apply, and be picked for a job.
Now we continue with the drawbacks of bureaucracy. As we know, every good one must have bad one. So, among the drawbacks of this theory is rigidity. This is because the bureaucracy is accused of being stiff, immobile, and inflexible by critics. So, following the rules and laws, the latter hinders initiative and originally. Thus, if there is an issue, it can also protect you from the blame. The second drawbacks of this theory is one-way communication. As we know, bureaucratic theory emphasizes on the dissemination of information, such as tasks, orders, rules, and laws that come from the top-level management to the bottom-of-level management. However, employees are not asked for input on operational concerns or other ideas in the organization. Third is red tape. Red tape is referred to very excessive bureaucratic regulations that cause a transaction or process to be delayed. Why I say so? Because the red tape is slow down the process of moving cases involving documents. For example, if a person wishes to request a help from a government or organization, he or she requires information from various sources to guarantee that the person is actually qualified. This requires the individual submitting documentation and going upstream and downstream in order to receive permission. And the last one is power abuse. In bureaucracy, managers have more influence, which they might abuse to further their own interests or to subjugate their employees. For example, a superior seeks increase the number of his subordinate employees because he considers these figures as a symbol of strength.
So first, in this slide, I will talk about the contribution of scientific management. There are three. First is efficient and effective production method and rational way to solve organization problem, and last but not least, heroic figure. So I will start with efficient and effective production method. So the fundamental benefit of scientific management according to Kubrick was conservation and saving, making adequate use of every ounce of energy of whatever form is expected. So, conveyor belt provide its employee on a modern assembly line with the part they need to accomplish a work, and then they transport the complete task to the next employee on the line. Okay, second is rational way to solve organizational problem. It is widely accepted that scientific staff retention and development are critical to increasing staff performance. It stresses job design, which encourages managers to choose the optimal approach to tasks and finish them with the least amount of time and effort. So we will talk about the contribution of heroic figure. Because of several legitimate reasons, Taylor is considered as a heroic figure in management theory because he was the first to propose, among other things, work planning, scientific staff selection, putting the right man on the job, suitable rewarding employee effort, and combating inefficiency. Second, he gave his idea a physical form by distilling management philosophy down to a set of principles that have stood the test of the time.
Apart from the contributions given, there are also drawbacks to this theory. Okay, first is exploitation of workers. This is because the benefit that company receive are not distributed to the employees. They only receive a little portion of the income, while the investor take the largest portion in the form of increased earnings. This situation forces employees to compete against the time to earn more money. Thus, employees feel exploited since they are not given a portion of greater earnings as a result of their enhanced productivity. What we can see is wages do not rise in proportion to the rise in production. Okay, last one for drawback of scientific management is it provides standardized job for employees. This activity makes work mechanistic and treats worker like a machine. This is because work methods are standardized and employees must repeat the same performance over and over and again, just like a gear on a wheel, where employees are viewed as robots to speed up work.
So, in this slide, I will talk about the contribution of administrative theory. There are two, which is conceptual foundation and universally applicable principle of management. So, the contribution in administrative theory is conceptual foundation, which is for your contribution to management is one of a kind and priceless. He laid us a theoretical framework for analyzing management process. He proposed that all corporate operations be divided into 6 categories, with management being the most significant. Following that, he identified the key part of management as planning, organizing, governing, coordinating, and controlling, and Fayol also presented 14 management principles that may be used worldwide. There are just a few of the contemporary management ideas and practice that can be traced back to Fayol's contribution. So, next we will talk about the contribution of universally applicable principle of management. So, Fayol has contributed to the spread of management principle by emphasizing the universality of management ability. So, Fayol believed that managerial skill could be used in a variety of settings, including the home, church, literary, school, and politics, in addition to industry. So, this has resulted in the exponential rise of the management institution all over the world.
Every theory not only make a contributions but also carries drawbacks. So for this part of drawback of administrative theory is still based on human. As we know, as human being, we will certainly make a mistake. This theory is based on human harmony, which unity is formed to create a powerful management team. However, when problems happen, it can run the worst strength of the team. Okay, last is it has limited application in the complex and dynamic environment. It is because it ignores the impacts of environmental changes. In other words, it does not give any consideration to customer needs. Thus, it would be better if the organization was built to service the needs of customer.
To the context, I believe this approach is being used effectively. As we can see, many companies are operating their business according to these theories. For example, companies had been facilitating organizational structure. The organizational structure is the one of the 14 control concepts identified by Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol identified a hierarchical structure in which high-level managers act as a forceful leaders. While this was standard procedure in this mining company, the hierarchical data structure is the model for many small business today. More organizations are adopting a flat structure. The top-down model, as defined by FAIR, remains popular as a method of ensuring that decisions are applied from the top to the bottom in today's business. One of FAIR's enduring theories was that employees must be subordinate their personal interests to overall interests of the companies. Rather than having personal work on project individually, many agencies group employees with varying abilities and capabilities together. This helps to show up any weakness because personnel with opposing abilities work together to compensate for each other's deficiencies. Aside from that, it can be seen that workers are now motivated by fair compensation. One theory that continue to hold true is the idea that business leaders should compensate employees in the way that motivate them to perform above and beyond expectation. Today, it is easy to imagine example of this type of compensation, such as love award in give to deserving employees and company rates where management and employees can interact as human beings without worrying about their status at work. Not only that, but this approach also aids in increasing productivity in today's workplace. It is possible to identify which group perform specific tasks well and allow them to specialize in their strong point. Identifying method error and correcting them will end in a lot of economical methodology, which can waste less time and infrequently fewer resources as well. This is because the focus shift to developing and enforcing more environmentally friendly techniques that ensure that goals are met. Managers can focus their effort on intellectual rather than physical support, and their belief power may improve as management become easier. In a nutshell, we know that most businesses nowadays use technology to manage their operation. As a result, we can see how important administrative theory in infusing data-driven decision in today's work content. All decisions are based on information gathered about the company's past and present activities as well as its future prospect. This will also assist in increasing employees and customer satisfaction. It's helped to increase employee satisfaction by properly allocating work to them based on their abilities. Employees are motivated to do their job, which improve their performance and overall quality, resulting in increased client satisfaction, which is critical nowadays. This demonstrates that today's company are still using the administrative management approach to achieve their business goal and objective. That's all.